The Padres continue to win on the road, and the Padres beat a pretty good Royals team. And with today's win, they clinch their 8th series win in the last 10 series. So we have some really fun things to talk about tonight on the Padres postgame show. I'm Matt Skraby, and this is, again, the Padres postgame show on 97.3 The Fan. A very, very nice 7-3 win for the Padres today. And this team continues to torch teams on the road this season. We talked about it all week long on the talk shows. The Padres have yet to sweep a series this season, and they have that opportunity tomorrow. 11:10 a.m. is the first pitch for the Padres in Kansas City to wrap up that series against the Royals. And even though the Padres had some tough injury news before the game with the Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove heading to the IL, Randy Vasquez once again made a spot start, and Randy Vasquez once again, he did a pretty good job for not really having much time to prepare at all. Randy Vasquez today went 5 innings. He gave up only 4 hits, 3 runs. He struck out 5 in 81 pitches. And then the bullpen, once again, the next 4 pitchers out. Morejon, Estrada, Peralta, and Robert Suarez. No one gave up a run, and no real threat there at the end for the Royals. And the Royals came in, on a little bit of a losing streak, but for the most part, all season long, the Royals have been able to put up a ton of runs, and the Royals have been able to win a lot of games so far this year. Also, the Royals are very, very good at home. They're now 21-9 at home, and the Padres are 18-10 away. So we'll talk about the road-home splits here just briefly in the Padres postgame show. But for a week that had a loss to the Marlins, I believe it was 9-1 on Wednesday, this is the confounding part of this team, the confusing part of this team, because some days this team looks on fire, and some days they can play like they did against the Marlins. Now, I was willing to chalk up that loss to the Marlins as just one of those games throughout a 162-game baseball season. But going to Kansas City, facing a good team, a team that is well above 500, and able to take the first 2 games, and especially with what they did last night, putting up 9 runs in the 8th inning, against a team that plays so well at home. I can't understate that. A home team usually has the home field advantage, and the Royals are taking full advantage of that. But the Padres have been taking full advantage of being the spoiler all season long, and today was no different. They 7-3 win, some big, huge, timely hits. Fernando seems to be getting back on track. He had 3 hits today. He went 3 for 4 with a homer in the first inning. Jurickson Profar also had an RBI today with a sacrifice fly. Jake Cronenworth went 1 for 5. Manny Machado walked 3 times, 2 real walks and then 1 intentional walk. Donovan Solano got a hit. Ha-Seong Kim had 2 hits. Kyle Higashioka had 2 hits and a home run in the game today. Things were just rolling for the Padres. And when things seemed to get a little tough for the Padres when they were out playing defense, pitchers locked it down. Jeremiah Estrada facing Vinny Pasquantino, the Pasquatch. They're in a really tough situation late in the game, and Jeremiah Estrada was able to strike him out. I mean, that shouldn't surprise anyone that he was able to strike out Vinny Pasquantino, but think about that pressure for Jeremiah Estrada in that moment. He had to make that pitch. It was bases loaded. He had no other choice but to get that out, and he did. And I have to think that the confidence he's been building ever since he's kind of burst onto the scene here with the Padres is going to help him go a long way. And then you have Adrian Morejon going an inning and 2/3, only giving up 2 hits and a K. He's been steady out of the bullpen. And Wandy Peralta has been steady out of the bullpen. He only went 1/3 of an inning today, but he still got the out. He needed to get the out. He only threw 3 pitches. He'll take that. I was surprised, honestly, to see Robert Suarez in there today with a 7-3 lead. But maybe when we get to hear from Mike Schilt in the post-game press conference, maybe one of the reporters will ask why Robert Suarez was being used in a non-save situation, even after having to come in last night. And that's another positive for me. Having the team, kind of give up a bunch of runs there in the bottom of the 9th inning, looking like possibly the Royals were going to tie it with a home run there with 2 outs. Padres end up winning. They could have easily kind of rolled into today pitching like they did in the bottom of the ninth, but they didn't. And Randy Vasquez, we have to give him a little bit of credit today. He got in, I believe Jesse said that he got to Kansas City around 2 a.m. after finding out that he would be starting for the Padres today after Joe Musgrove went on the IL. But he did what he had to do, and there's no one who's going to give him a pass because he had to go to sleep at 2 a.m. and wake up and be ready for this game. But 5 innings, only give up 4 hits, 3 earned runs earlier in the game. And another aspect of this series so far that I think the Padres are showing us that they can do is the comeback, the resilience of this team. This team last night, today they go out on top 1-0 with Fernando Tatis Jr. Top of the first inning, he hits a home run. They take the lead. Kansas City comes right back with scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Then the Padres tie it up in the third inning, the top of the third, with another run. So it's 2-2. Then the Royals come out, and in the bottom of the third, they score a run and they tie it up. But then the Padres were able to overcome and were able to make the comeback win. I can't really call it a comeback win when you're only down 1 run in the third inning or in the top of the fourth inning, but it is what it is. It is a comeback win. They score 3 in the top of the fourth and add on 2 more in the top of the ninth inning, which was huge. Kyle Higashioka, you got to feel good for him. Hitting a home run today, getting a little insurance run for the Padres. It's nice to see guys who are struggling when they have nice days at the plate, and Kyle Higashioka definitely fits into that mix right now. Kim with a big day, a triple and a double. Just a lot of good things to talk about for the Padres today. So we have a lot going on here on the Padres post-game show. As always, I am filling in for Sam Levitt today. He left me in charge. I can't believe he actually did. He will be back tomorrow, so don't worry for all you Sam Levitt fans out there. He's just taking the afternoon off. We're going to have Mike Schilt, Padres post-game press conference coverage. We're going to talk about some of the road-hitting stats for the Padres a little bit later. I was talking to Frank in studio here during the game, and looking up stats, we were pretty surprised at the Padres and what they're doing on the road right now. And in fact, there's I think 3 Padres in the top 11 according to batting average. And so we'll get into those stats when I actually am looking at them and trying not to remember them off the top of my head. We'll also check in with the out-of-town scoreboard, all that good stuff. So Padres today win 7-3. They win their 8th series in the last 10 series, which I think is what we said this week. That is consistency. Winning series on the road, doing it with Randy Vasquez, all of that good stuff. So when we get back, we are going to go dive into the stats a little bit more. I see Mike Schilt is about to get going with his press conference. We'll have that for you. But right now, we can all enjoy a 7-3 Padres win here on 97.3 The Fan. Oh, man, this is the perfect song to come back to on a Saturday where the Padres beat the Royals 7-3. I'm Matt Skraby. This is the Padres post-game show here on 97.3 The Fan. We're going to get into our highlights in this segment. Then a little bit later, we have Mike Schultz's press conference, the relief pitcher of the game, out-of-town scoreboard, player of the game, all of that good stuff. Also, we'll dive into those 3 Padres hitters who are ranked in the top as of maybe half hour ago, 11 hitters on the road in baseball this season. But we got a lot to cover here, so let's get right into it.
What moments had the biggest impact on today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game recap on the Padres Radio Network.
Well, coming off that win over the Royals last night, the Padres were looking to start scoring right out the gate, and after a Luis Ariz ground out, Fernando Tatis Jr. continues to hit the ball well.
1 out and nobody on, just underway. The 2-1. And Tatis swings, hits it in the air to deep center field. Blanco's back, still going back on the warning track at the wall. Looking up, gonna go! Home run, Fernando Tatis Jr. Number 10 on the season, and a solo shot to give the Pods a 1-0 lead here in the first.
108 miles an hour off the bat. Fernando's 10th of the year, 1-0 Padres. And you know what? It was nice to see his swag come back a little bit. He did the stutter step around the base. Fernando, let me see what at the end of the day, Fernando will have in this series tallied 5 hits, a home run, and 9 total bases so far in 2 games. So that is a really, really awesome thing to see for the Padres and for Fernando Tatis Jr. It was proven last night, but the Royals know how to score runs, and after Bobby Witt Jr. singled and stole second in the bottom of the first, the Pasquatch, Vinny Pasquantino, stepped to the plate on his bobblehead day.
2-1 pitch. Pasquantino hits it in the air to deep right field. Fernando racing straight back. Looking up. Gonna go into the Kansas City bullpen. Just over the right field fence. A 2-run home run for Vinny Pasquantino. And Kansas City hops on top. It's 2-1.
And as you heard Jesse just say, Royals in front, 2-1. That would be it for the bottom of the first. Steady pitching in the second saw 6 up, 6 down combined. Top of the third started with Ha-Seong Kim tripling. Then with 1 out, Luis Arraez tied it up by hitting a sac fly to left. 2-2 in the top of the third. Toddy singled again in the inning, but didn't get home. Bottom of the third started with Randy Vasquez walking Blanco, then Blanco stealing second. Witt Jr. grounded out to Vasquez, which moved Blanco to third. And the Pasquatch, which is one of my favorite nicknames in baseball, the Pasquatch once again came to bat with a runner in scoring position.
The 2-0 is swung on, ripped over Cronenworth into right field and a base hit. Blanco will jog home for third. An RBI single for Pasquantino is driven in all 3 Royal runs, and they now lead 3-2.
And the Pasquatch, yes, 3-2. Top of the fourth, and things are getting good for the Padres. Manny walked with 1 out. Solano singled to right. Then Jackson Merrill kept his hot-hitting ways on the road intact and singled to right, loading the bases for Ha-Seong Kim.
2 balls and a strike the pitch. And Kim hits it in the air to left center field. Blanco back into the gap on the run. Not going to get there. Going to end up around the base of the wall and going to clear the bases. Kim stops at second. All 3 come in to score. A bases clearing double for Ha-Seong Kim. And the Padres are back in front. It's 5-3.
I gotta say, that's some pretty tough booing by the Royals fans right there with the way their team plays at home and the way their team has been playing this year. But hey, I guess you can boo if you pay for the game, pay for the tickets. Bases clearing double for Ha-Seong Kim, and at that point, Kim was on cycle watch with a triple and a double already notched. But more importantly, Padres took a 5-3 lead. Randy Vasquez steadied himself, and the Royals make no noise in the bottom of the fourth. The Padres then will load the bases in the top of the fifth, but Donovan Solano grounded into a double play to end the inning with no runs scored. Then some good pitching took over on both sides, and we fast forward to the bottom of the 7th inning. Adrian Morejon got the first 2 outs of the inning. Then Jeremiah Estrada came in to face Bobby Witt Jr. with runners on the corners. Estrada walked Witt Jr. and then faced the Royals' hottest hitter of the day, Vinny Pasquantino. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Count was 1-2.
Ball and 2 strikes. Estrada ready. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him to chase 99 up out of the zone, and the Royals leave him loaded.
Surprise anyone that Jeremiah Estrada struck out Vinny Pasquantino to end that inning? No, it doesn't surprise anyone. He continues to do big things for the Padres, and the Padres do not give up any runs, and they took the lead into the top of the 8th. The score was still 5-3 as we went to the bottom of the 8th. A combination of Jeremiah Estrada and Wandy Peralta were used to get the 3 outs. Top of the 9th, and the Padres weren't done yet. Kyle Higashioka does something really fun.
1-0 pitch is in the air to deep left field. Hampson back towards the corner. On the move at the wall. It's going to go. Home run for Higashioka. Tucked it inside the left field foul pole. Second hit of the day for the Padre catcher. And San Diego now in front 6-3.
I believe he was 0 for 22 coming into today. It's something crazy like that. So this was much needed for Kyle Higashioka. Puts him up 6-3. Nice insurance run. Then Luis Arraez was on third. Jurickson Profar drove him in with the sac fly. Padres exit the top of the 9th inning 7-3. Then Robert Suarez comes in with that 7-3 lead. It's a non-safe situation. He walked the first batter, Adam Frazier, got the next 2 outs, and then Suarez. Who else was he going to face to end the game? But the Pasquatch had 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
1-0 pitch is hit on the ground to second base. Should be it. Cronenworth has got it. The throw to first in plenty of time, and the ball game is over. Suarez comes out to close the door. Padres beat the Royals 7-3. They have won another series, and And here tomorrow afternoon, they will go for the sweep.
So Frank just let me in on this. He was 0 for 20 coming into today. He had his first 2 at-bats, so he was 0 for 22. Then he got 2 hits, and so he's now 2 for 2 in his last 2 at-bats, which I'll leave it at that for him. I can do my math, everyone. Padres go on to win 7-3. They have They score 7 runs on 11 hits. They did have an error. Manny Machado did have another error today, which is very strange. He had 2 errors so far this week, but I guess it's okay because they won. Royals score 3 runs on 8 hits. They had no errors. Randy Vasquez gets the win for the Padres, going 5 innings, giving up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, striking out 5 while only walking 1. And Marsh takes the loss for the Royals. 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and 3 walks on the day. So lots of great stuff happening for the Padres. Padres bullpen, again, lights out, did not give up a run the rest of the day. And this Royals lineup is not an easy lineup to get through. You got Bobby Witt Jr. at number 2. You got Pasquantino at number 3. You got Salvador Perez at the number 4 spot. Those 3 hitters right there are scary enough as it is. And the Padres have been able to keep them in check so far in this series. And again, they won today, so they took the first 2 games of the series, meaning that they've won now their 8th series in their last 10 series, which, again, consistency at its finest right there. And they go for the sweep tomorrow. They go for the first sweep of the season tomorrow. And I'll get into the pitching matchup a little bit later, and I'll let you know what's going on tomorrow. But, man, this was a fun game. This was a great night last night as well. So there's not much to complain about in Padre land right now. I have to say, I don't find any fault with what's going on with what the Padres are doing. They're keeping the line moving. They scored 9 runs in the 8th inning last night. They scored 7 runs in the game today. Fernando Tatis Jr. has 3 hits. I'm just happy that I took over today, Frank. I got to tell you, because I did the 9-3 Phillies loss when Joe Musgrove took on Aaron Nola. That was no fun. So we're going to have tons of fun here on the Padres postgame show. I'm Matt Skraby. If you want to give us a call, you can. 833-288-0973. Also, we are on YouTube. Please come and watch the show. And you can also comment. Just search 97.3 The Fan on YouTube. You can go to Facebook, Twitter, 97.3 The Fan SD. And you can watch and comment from there as well. I will go through some of those in the break. Also, Twitter, at Matt Skraby. You can follow me, MATTSKRA, as in boy, Y. When we get back, we are going to continue talking about this Padres win, and we're going to hear from the manager, Mike Shildt, see what he had to say about his team today, and we'll go from there. So we'll be back shortly here. Padres win 7-3, take the first 2 games of the series from the Royals. Randy Vasquez gets a win. We'll be back shortly here on 97.3 The Fan. I had to stop myself from singing for some reason. I love these songs that Sam has playing coming back from the breaks here. It puts me in a good mood, Frank. Frank is on the board here in the Odyssey Palace Studios, 97.3 The Fan. Padres win 7-3. We're going to hear from Mike Shildt here shortly. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can go to at 97.3 The Fan SD on Twitter, or you can watch on YouTube, 97.3 The Fan, or you could follow me at Matt Skraby, MATTSKRA, as in boy, Y. But here, I'm going to get into some of these YouTube comments real quick, and I went through them in the break. Lots of positive comments today. We're going to start with our guy Brandon, saying, for the day beginning with bad news, this was a much-needed win. And I 100% agree with that, Brandon. When I saw the push notification on my phone this morning that Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove were heading to the IL, I was very concerned about that, obviously, because both of those guys have dealt with some injury this year, and both of those guys are much needed for this Padres rotation. So we're going to be talking about that a lot this week during the talk shows here on 97.3 The Fan. And we got a lot of full shows this week because the Padres are going to be in Anaheim playing the Angels this week. I believe all 3 games are 6:38 p.m. So that's a little preview of what's happening on Monday. Trevor said Kyle Higashioka looked ready and confident. And he did. That's a very hard thing to do, especially for a backup catcher. And especially for a guy who was 0 for 20 coming into the day and 0 for 22 at one point in this game, or 0 for his last 22. That would be a lot of at-bats if he was 0 for 22 in the game. But he did look ready. He did look confident, and that is why baseball – let me put up Eric's comment. This is why baseball is the ultimate team sport. It takes everyone over the entire season. And I agree with that, Eric. It does take everyone over an entire season because we've talked about it this year. This Padres team sometimes they have two of the facets of the game working and one not working. So starting pitching and hitting might be working, but then the bullpen might not be working on any given night. Or hitting's not working, but starting pitching and the rotation were doing good things. So it's one of those things with the Padres where they haven't been able to put together all three facets of the game: offense, defense, and then pitching. But today, in the last couple nights, last two games against the Royals, the Padres have definitely done that. And they're going to need all these guys. Kyle Higashioka hitting a home run, putting some insurance runs. That's great stuff to see. It is. They weren't taking their foot off the gas, and they weren't just going to accept the 5-3 win. They knew they needed to get more runs on the board with the meat of the Royals order coming up in the bottom of the ninth. So good on Kyle Higashioka. Jax says, everybody throw Skraby a like. Thank you, Jax. Yes, please, if you're watching on YouTube, go like it. It helps out the station itself, 97.3 The Fan. And while you're there, follow the station because we're putting up a lot of good videos these days. And we're also, you can see all of our live broadcasts. Jeff is actually saying that he is going tomorrow, too. Do I have the sweet magic? We will see. Jeff, I think that you might have the sweet magic. I'm going to knock on some wood right now to make sure that I'm not going to be blamed if they get beat tomorrow. But an 8th series win in the last 10 is awesome stuff. Really, really good stuff. Fernando Tatis Jr., again, 3 hits today, 5 hits in this Royal Series, a home run, 9 total bases so far in the series. So he's getting on base. He's making things happen. And I'm not even mad. You know, I saw some of the reaction to him yesterday, trying to tag up and go home on Bobby Witt Jr. And although it does look weird for someone to tag up and go home with a guy like Bobby Witt Jr. in shallow left field, he almost made the play. And we've seen Fernando do this before. I can specifically remember a time when the Padres were in Pittsburgh and they were playing, it was Kevin Newman, I believe. I think he's also a local guy here, but he was the second baseman for the Pirates. And Fernando was on third, and there was a play where he could try to tag up and go home, and he absolutely made the play from Kevin Newman in shallow right field. So if there's anyone on this team that's going to be able to do stuff like that, it's Fernando Tatis Jr. Now, I cannot blame him for trying to make things happen, and I like that he's trying to make things happen. That is when Fernando is at his best, when he has his swag going, and he's getting his swag back slowly but surely here with the Padres. So if you're just tuning in, I'm filling in for Sam Levitt today. This is the Padres post-game show. I'm Matt Skraby. Sammy will be back tomorrow. Just needed the afternoon off. He deserves it. Randy Vasquez gets the win. Now, we are going to go and listen to what Mike Schilt had to say after the game. He sat down with the media, and here is that press conference.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Schilt. Presented by Sinley Food. Spice up your culinary life.
Mike, you were talking before the game about all the things that were going to happen today for you guys to win this game, and then they kind of did.
Yeah.
It was a real team effort.
It's a great team effort. Yeah, team win for sure. You know, contributions from a lot of people. Typically starts on the mound, and our man Randy was solid through 5. You know, able to score early on Toddy's blast. I'm sure we'll get to in a minute, but you know, Randy was able to get out and gave it a couple early, and then right the ship and be able to get through 5. And he did his part to keep the lead. So I turned over to the bullpen, which did a really, really, really good job.
Imagine in light of today's news, it can't be overstated how big it would be if Randy is what he's been the last couple.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we talked about before the game, you know, he was just so good in Atlanta against another good ball club. 6 innings, quality start, effectively the same today. Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, we're going to support Joe and you while they're out, and people are going to step up and do great things in their stead. So it was a good job by Randy.
How would you describe that Estrada-Pasquantino matchup there in the 7th with the game on the line?
Yeah, that was a battle of titans, right? I mean, Pasquantino swung the bat well today. Got one out of there and then drove the ball down the line, then hit another ball to right, and he swung the bat well. And so, it was power versus power, and he put a couple good swings, just missed him, and then he was able to elevate him and get him out and lead the traffic out there. So it was a great job by Jeremiah.
What your bullpen has done the last 2 days here is quite a way to start a 13-game stretch.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense of
back-to-backs, pitches,
high
leverage.
It's a couple things. Done a great job. High leverage. I mean, it's a competitive game, so we've been going and playing to win, obviously, and we're able to get the first two. But yeah, we've gone out there and used our guys like we typically use them to bring it home. Today, another guy stepped up in Morijon. Good for Adrian. He comes out and he's done a nice job this year pitching in different situations. But now he's graduated pitching with that lead in the 6th and was able to get a clean 6th and grab some with the 7th and question about Jeremiah came in and got his guy to finish the 7th, and then Wandy picked up Jeremiah in the 8th. I knew he could go back out based on his workload, but they threw some good at bats on him and just got to a point we got to 32, felt like that was enough, and it was a good opportunity for Wandy to come in and got his guy. And listen, 4 on leads, kind of like a 3 on lead, especially with 3 batter minimum now with your closer. He's going to be hot anyway. And then where they are in the order, we weren't going to mess around with that part of the order. So Suarez comes in and closed it out.
One thing you have had to talk about this year is the other team answering back on
right.
you. They did today, but you answered back.
Yeah, you read my notes again, Ace. Just added on, good at bats. They did answer, we score, but we just kept going and kept taking, tremendous at bats. Guys just doing their part and letting the next guy in line do their part. It's good to see Toddy drive that ball to right center. He's got a little swag back. So that's always good. And Kimmy, let's talk about this guy. Big at bat, gets us right back after they score, ball in the gap for the triple, hustle triple, then drives with the ball in the gap, clears the bases, and the play made in the 7th, the play in the 9th, huge plays. Those are huge outs, relative to where we are in the bullpen and making sure we can bring it home and not having to turn that lineup over. He made just 2 Gold Glove caliber plays.
I know you kind of keep track of this and you like your guys a lot. Higgy's been struggling. It was kind of a big day, and then that home run, I imagine, was also kind of a big lift for the team and him.
Yeah, good for Higgy. It's a good. He's had good at bats. First of all, he called a great game again. He's done a nice job behind the plate, as has Campy. But I did another nice job behind the plate. But he's had good at bats. The ball he drove to right center was another good at bat. He's got some barrels on balls, and then he roped the ball down the left field line, and he held him to a single, and then put a good swing for the insurance run in the 9th for the homer. So good day all around for Higgy. So like you said, it's a big team contribution today.
That was Mike Schilt post-game talking to the media. And listen, when you win the first 2 games of a series, I know that we sometimes maybe are too critical of things that happen during games, and especially during Wednesday's game when they got blown out by the Marlins. But when the Padres have 2 games like they just had against the Royals, I think it's time to focus on some of the positives and give those guys their due. Kyle Higashioka, that's not easy coming off the bench as a backup catcher. Definitely not easy. Went 2 for 4 today with a home run. So let's highlight him for a little bit. All right, I'm Matt Skraby. I'm filling in for Sam Levitt today on the Padres post-game show here on 97.3 The Fan. One of the other things before we head to break that I am realizing about Mike Schilt, and I like this about the way he manages, is he plays for the win. It seems like he will be unconventional with his bullpen if he needs to protect the lead, which sometimes he's had to do that this year. There's been, when was it? Friday against the Braves a couple weeks ago. They had Suarez go in the 8th inning because it was the meat of their order, and then he had Estrada go in the 9th inning to pick up the save. And credit to both guys. Well, credit to Suarez for saying, yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't care about the save. I just want to win the game. So I'm appreciative of Mike Schill doing things a little bit unconventional. And so when that happens, you're going to have to maybe be a little bit forgiving when things don't work out. But things have worked out here in the last 2 days, and things have worked out with some of the buttons that Mike Schill has been pressing throughout the season. Also, I was very curious as to see what he said, Mike Schill, about bringing in Suarez in a non-save situation. And just like I said, he's unconventional. It was a 4-run lead for the Padres. And Robert Suarez, it was the best part of the Royals' order. And so Mike Schill said, I want to close this game out. I don't want to give them any sort of chance to come back in this one. Because look what happened last night. They were down a ton of runs. They scored 5 in the bottom of the 9th, but he wanted Suarez to come in during the non-save situation and just not mess with that part of the order. So I love it. I love it. I do. And it's easy to love things when you win. And it's really easy to when losses pile up, things get a little crazy around these parts in San Diego, around the Padres fans' parts, but right now, things are going really, really well, and I'm happy to see it, obviously. All right, when we get back here on the Padres postgame show, we still have a couple more things to do. We have the relief pitcher of the game, which is going to be tough for me because there was great relief pitching today. We have the out-of-town scoreboard, the player of the game, the play of the game. But when we get back, I want to tell you about those road-hitting stats that I was talking about earlier in the postgame show, and I'm going to tell you about the 3 Padres that are in the top 11. I just went and checked this during the press conference. They are still in the top 11 hitters according to batting average on the road in baseball, and I'll tell you who they are and what they're hitting when we get back here on the Padres postgame show after a Padres 7-3 win over the Royals on 97.3 The Fan. Matt Skraby here with you on the Padres postgame show in the Odyssey Palace, 97.3 The Fan. It was sticky, as I heard Jesse and Tony say, in Kansas City today, but it didn't matter. The Padres were able to win 7-3, again proving that maybe we just need to accept that the Padres are going to do all of their winning on the road. I know it's crazy to say, but that's how it's gone so far, and Padres right now are 18-10 on the road. And they went into Kansas City against a team that was 21-8 at home coming into the game today, and now the Padres have forced them to drop 2 at home, which doesn't seem obviously to happen often. So some really, really nice wins from the Padres. And they're going for the series sweep tomorrow. I saw a few people on the YouTube chat. If you want to watch and comment, 97.3 The Fan, just search that on YouTube. Saw some people on the chat saying, hey, if there's a chance tomorrow that the guys need to rest, maybe they're down a lot, then go for it. The series is not that important. The series sweep is not that important. The series itself is very important. But I have a feeling this Padre team is building some big-time confidence right now, and this is a good part of their schedule. A good team like the Royals, they've already won that series. They go to Anaheim here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're not doing very well. So it's part of the schedule that the Padres can beat up on some teams. And, I was nervous. I said this yesterday. I was nervous about Bobby Witt Jr.'s on my fantasy baseball team, but I'm not cheering for him to do well in this series. So I've watched a lot of the Royals this year, and the Royals can hit. And they can hit. They go into these half innings where they're scoring 5-6 runs, and it happens in an instant. And Bobby Witt Jr.'s hitting 3-run home runs. So I was a little bit nervous coming into this game coming into this series about what the Padres were going to do, especially after coming off of a series against the Marlins where scoring was down, and also they had just lost 9-1 to the Marlins on Wednesday. So I was a little bit worried about it, but shouldn't have been worried at all because the Padres have been able to take care of business. Not easy, but 2 wins so far over the Royals. All right, let's go to the phones real quick. We're going to go to Mario in National City. Hello, Mario. You're on the Padres postgame show. What's up?
Hey, fellas, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
All right, man. Good game, man. You know what? It feels good to go in there and win on the road. Yeah, we got to win at home, but like you said earlier, a win is a win. And, it feels good to have the best player in MLB, in Luis.
Yeah.
As far as Suarez and everybody, they're all doing good. They all come together, Kim and Tatis. It seems like everybody's just backing each other up. If it's not Machado, it's Tatis. If it's not Tatis, the one that we got to get going is the catcher. Campusano. We got to try to get him. We got to try to get him going a little bit. But good show today, man. I appreciate it, man.
No problem. Thank you, Mario, for giving me a call. I appreciate Mario because he's always very positive, even when the Padres don't play well. But he has a good outlook on things, and today would be another great day to be a Padre fan. Campusano does need to get going. Higashioka is not going to go 2 for 4 with a homer in every single game. But if the rest of the lineup, yes, it would be nice for those guys to hit better, obviously. But if the rest of the lineup here is carrying them, then you can afford, to have a catcher that's not hitting very well. And let's be honest, catchers don't hit very well, and there's only a handful around baseball that are great hitters. I mean, Salvador Perez, great hitter and a catcher. You got Adley Rutschman, great hitter and a catcher. William Contreras, but there's not an overwhelming amount of catchers that can hit well in the major leagues. And so Campusano has shown that he can do it. He has shown that. And he has shown that he has some pop too. So hopefully he can get back to it. And hopefully Higashioka can maybe not go 0 for 20 and kind of just put some hits in there in between. All right, Matt Skraby here, Padres postgame show. We still got the relief pitcher of the game, but I wanted to talk about these road hitting stats that I was teasing before the break. And here we go. On the road, the number one hitter in baseball, according to MLB.com, so I think that's a pretty official place. Luis Arraez is the number one hitter in baseball according to batting average on the road. He's hitting .430 this season on the road so far in 26 games, 114 at-bats. .430. He's also got a .975 OPS. So for a guy who's been called a singles hitter on Gwynn and Chris before, he's hitting with some power on the road. A .975 OPS, 6 doubles, 1 triple, a home run. I mean, those are also stats that are combined with the Marlins, but good stuff here. Jackson Merrill, where does he rank on the road? We know he hits well on the road. Jackson Merrill, number 2 in baseball according to batting average on the road. He's also played in 26 games, 97 at-bats. He's hitting .361 on the road, .815 OPS on the road, 17 RBIs, and he has hit 1 home run, 2 doubles. So not as much power as Luis Arraez, but Jackson Merrill is a rookie. Jackson Merrill is a guy that we were just hoping could hang at the major league level this year, not be as good as he's been defensively, offensively on the road. Now, he needs to work on hitting at home, but that's all going to happen in due time. I have no issues with Jackson Merrill and what he's doing this year because he will be able to hit for more power, and he's going to be able to hit at home at some point. But if he's going to continue to hit .361 on the road, I don't care. I just want to see him hit .361 on the road and drive in those runs. And then we look at the last hitter for the Padres that on the road batting average, Jurickson Profar, number 11 in baseball. He's hitting .317 on the road, .871 OPS. So he's basically steady Eddie because he's hitting let me see what he's hitting now, .325 after today. And Jurickson Profar has been a revelation this year, an absolute revelation because we did not, and I was wrong. I was wrong saying that Jurickson Profar was not going to change the fortune of this team. Jurickson Profar has changed the fortune of this team, and I am happy to be wrong about that. .317 on the road. 3 Padres hitters in the top 11 in all of baseball in batting average on the road. That's good stuff. That is really good stuff. All right, let's get back to my little sheet here and see what's next. Oh, Frank and I didn't talk about this, but we have the relief pitcher of the game, and there's a lot of good choices, Frank. So why don't we go with? I think we need to go with Estrada. He's open for that. Sorry. I'm filling in for Sam Levitt. I didn't realize it, but we do have to do this first.
Which pitcher was able to come in and slam the door shut? It's time for the relief pitcher of the game in support of the Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, providing food assistance to local children, families, and seniors in need. To get help or give help, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org.
Ball and 2 strikes. Estrada ready to pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him to chase 99 up out of the zone. And the Royals leave him loaded.
There you go. Our relief pitcher of the game. Maybe even our relief pitcher of the week for the Padres. Jeremiah Estrada. Striking out the Pasquatch right there to end the inning. End the threat for the Royals, and he ended up going Estrada 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, but he struck out 2 and walked 1. His ERA is .50. Jeremiah Estrada, another revelation for this team. I think, did I already call him a revelation, or did I call Jackson Merrill? 97.3 a revelation. Whoa, did I just hear myself in my head? Like, was that live? I'm just kidding. Frank is on the board. Frank's doing a really good job. And I just got to put up this comment real quick for Frank from Rod. Frank holding it down. He's absolutely holding it down. If I didn't have Frank, I would be talking in circles. Let's go some other of these comments real quick. Clay in the South Bay. Not only does Schilt play to win, he seems to let the players play without micromanagement. I don't necessarily know what he's doing in between at bats and all that, but he does play to win, and he's proven that to us by some of the pitching moves that he's made this season and pitching moves that he made today. He didn't want to deal with the Royals' meat of their order. He did not want to do that, so he put in Robert Suarez in a non-safe situation. Robert Suarez does great things. He ends the game. Padres win. Padres win the series. So Schilt, we're going to have to learn a little bit more together as fans how Mike Schilt does things. Moises, I don't know if he meant to misspell my name, but he said, I agree, Skraby. Just like yesterday, Estrada took a walk and his historical streak was lost. That's how you know when players don't see the numbers but work together for a win. I think that's an underrated comment right there. Jeremiah Estrada has had the biggest week of his baseball life this week, with all of the accolades and all of the interviews that he did, all of the different things that were going on for him this week, still able to focus on baseball. And in his interview with us a couple Fridays ago, he just gives me this feeling like he doesn't even care how many strikeouts he has. He just wants to pitch and he wants to win. And that's what you need to be looking for on this team. A guy who does not care where he pitches. You want me to pitch in the 3rd inning in an 8-0 blowout and we're down? Sure, I'll do that. You want me to pitch in the 9th inning against the Braves with a 1-run lead to save the game? Sure, I'll do that. Those are the guys that the Padres have on their team. Really, really good stuff. Jason Ramirez says, for Luzardo, what would AJ have to give up? Like your baseball knowledge. Thank you, Jason, for saying that. Luzardo, I don't know that the Padres are going to... I didn't really think about this, but I don't know that the Padres are going to go after Luzardo. I don't know. I mean, AJ Preller does a lot of things, but I would like to see some other areas addressed a little bit before we go there. I mean, starting pitching is going to be the topic of conversation this week for the Padres. So maybe you do go after Jesus Luzardo, who we just saw in San Diego, and maybe you do just go all in this year, which they've already kind of gone all in this year to begin with Luis Urias, Dylan Cease, things like that. All right, let's see here. I think we need to end up going to break because we have Frank's giving me the yes. On the other side, we have our out-of-town scoreboard and our player of the game. So I'm going to make sure that I look through all the stats and I make sure that I pick the right person for this game because there are a lot of players that we could choose from for player of the game. And, of course, whenever I fill in for Sammy Lev, I have to do my hemming and hawing when I'm trying to choose the player of the game just like he does. So you can look forward to that when we get back. Padres win 7-3 over the Royals. They wrap up their 8th series in their last 10 series, and they are back to their winning ways. So we'll be back here shortly on 97.3 The Fan. Ooh, baby. See, I told you I was going to sing at one point, Frank, when we got back, because I'm in a good mood right now. Padres win 7-3. They beat the Royals for the second straight day. Randy Vasquez doing great things. We're going to hear from him. I'm really saying great things, that phrase, a lot today, so I'm going to try and find a new phrase here before the end of the postgame show. But we have Randy Vasquez postgame through his interpreter, Pedro Gutierrez, so we're going to hear from him. We're also going to do our out-of-town scoreboard and our player of the game. So right now, actually, let's just get into what's going on around baseball.
Let's take a trip around the Bigs and tell you about the scores you need to know in our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Meat, where great taste meets integrity.
All right, let's start with the games that are in progress right now. The Angels up in Seattle, 0-0, end of the second there, so they just started. The Reds and the Cubs in Chicago, Justin Steele starting for the Cubs, but there is a rain delay in the top of the first inning, so they haven't even started their game yet. Lots of rain delays. It's probably the same amount, but it just seems like a lot from a guy who lived in San Diego for the past 15 years. Top of the third inning in Philadelphia, the Phillies are leading the Cardinals 3-0. And then the rest of the games are either final or have not been played yet. The Yankees are in San Francisco to take on the Giants. Logan Webb is going to be pitching for the Giants. That's at 7:05 p.m. tonight. Aaron Judge had 2 home runs last night against the Giants, so Yankees continue to roll. Also at 7:10 p.m. tonight, the Rockies are going to be taking on the Dodgers in L.A. Yamamoto pitching for the Dodgers, Cal Quantrill pitching for the Rockies. The Rockies did take the game against the Dodgers last night, and the Dodgers, they haven't been as dominant as they were a few weeks ago. So the ebbs and flows of the baseball season also get to the Dodgers as well. They're 36-23 on the year. Final, Pirates 8-1 over the Blue Jays in Toronto. Blue Jays struggling right now. Maybe there is some trade pieces that can be looked at with the Blue Jays because they were expected to be much better. The Pirates closing in on 500. The Orioles at home beat the Rays 9-5. And the Mets fall to the Diamondbacks in New York 10-5. Pete Alonso, the polar bear, hits a home run. But not going well for the Mets. You know what? I'll just leave the Mets alone for today. The White Sox in the Brewers in Milwaukee. The Brewers win 4-3 in 10 innings there. The Red Sox beat the Tigers in Boston 6-3. The Astros end up winning over the Twins 5-2 at home. Framber Valdez gets the win for the Astros. Josh Hader gets his 8th save of the season. Now here's a crazy score. Chris Sale has been on fire for the Braves this season, but Chris Sale had a tough day for the Braves, and they were at home. The A's win 11-9 in Atlanta. So the A's, I like what I see from the A's. I feel bad for them, though. I do, because they're doing their best, and their owner does not want to give them anything. And they're continuing to put up wins, but Chris Sale tagged for 8 earned runs today, 2 home runs he gave up. So not a very good start for Chris Sale today after having some really nice starts this year so far. All right, let's get to the Rangers and the Marlins. The Rangers win 7-0. Marlins in Miami. Ryan Weathers, though, had a nice day in the loss. He had 11 strikeouts, I believe. And then the Guardians they beat the Nationals at home 3-2 today. Emmanuel Clase got his 18th save of the season. And whenever I see the pitcher for the Guardians, B. Lively, I don't know why, but I always think Blake Lively. His name is Ben Lively, not Blake Lively, the actress. But anyway, that's just a weird Matt Skraby thing. And you're listening to Matt Skraby here on the Padres post-game show after a nice 7-3 win for the Padres. And I forgot, Frank, where are we going next with this show? Oh, that's right. Thank you. I'm filling in for Sammy Levitt today. I wouldn't be myself without Frank, and we need to do this.
Which player had the biggest impact on today's game? Let's find out who is today's player of the game. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Catch every game at Patties and Pints. Plus, enjoy $4 beer every Thursday. Visit valleyviewcasino.com today.
One out and nobody on, just underway. The 2-1. And Tatis swings, hits it in the air to deep center field. Blanco's back, still going back on the warning track at the wall. Looking up, gonna go! Home run, Fernando Tatis Jr. Number 10 on the season, and a solo shot to give the Pods a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Fernando Tatis Jr., have to make him the player of the game. 3 for 4. He started off the scoring for the Padres today by hitting that home run. He's starting to get going again. I've said this a few times today, but in this series so far, Fernando has 5 hits, a home run, and 9 total bases in the series. So Fernando, and Tony Gwynn Jr. said it all week leading up to this series, that Fernando's looking a lot better. And that Fernando's starting to make it better. He's starting to select which pitches he swings at a little bit better. And he's trying to get, according to Tony Gwynn Jr., this is not coming from me, he's trying to get into the ready position earlier. So whatever he's doing is working for him. And Fernando Tatis Jr., our player of the game. I wonder how many times Fernando's been player of the game this year so far. Probably not many. I don't know. I'll have to ask Sammy Lev that. He'll be back tomorrow. I'm filling in for him today. And we got a few more things to do before we get out of here. I do want to hear from today's starting pitcher, Randy Vasquez. He got the win. He was interviewed after the game. And let's go and hear from him. And it's going to be with his translator, Pedro Gutierrez.
Congratulations, Randy. I imagine it was a very long day, but a good day. How do you feel?
Felicidades antes que nada. Suponen que fue un día muy largo para ti, es un día muy largo para ti, pero ¿cómo te sientes?
Me siento súper bien, gracias a Dios, agradecido de Papá Dios y agradecido del equipo por darme siempre la oportunidad de siempre estar aquí apoyándole y ayudándole en lo que yo más pueda.
Well, I'm just very happy and I'm grateful toward the organization, grateful towards the team that I get this opportunity to help out. Things worked out and also we'll pick up the win and everything came out good for us.
Do you feel like there's been a difference, the Atlanta start and this one, in terms of how comfortable you're getting and how you're throwing?
¿Te sientes un poco más tal vez con confianza, tomando en cuenta los buenos resultados en Atlanta y la buena salida de hoy también?
Sí, me siento más confiable sí, de mi staff. Y también, gracias a Dios, le doy pues siempre darme la capacidad para yo mejorar el día a día.
Well, I do feel a whole lot more comfortable with my arsenal, my stuff, my pitches, and I'm just grateful that I've been able to have these good results and things I've been able to work out, but I'm just happy to be able to contribute.
2 big guys went on the injured list today. You are going to be a big part of making up for them. Like, how important do you think it will be for you to continue to pitch like this?
Lesionó Darvish, lesionó Musgrove, 2 pitchers importantes. Tú vas a ser una pieza vital para poder fortalecer el pitcher de San Diego. ¿Cómo te sientes con esa oportunidad?
En realidad me siento un poquito mal porque nadie quiere que le pase nada a un compañero de equipo, pero yo voy a seguir dando la cara y lo voy a apoyar y siempre voy a hacer lo mejor para el equipo y ayudar a ganar juegos.
Well, it's obviously a little bittersweet because you don't want anybody to get hurt and you don't want to get these opportunities this way. But at the end of the day, I have to contribute, come and do my job, raise my hand, and I'm able to have this opportunity to come and help out the team win.
Did you fly in today, and what was your travel schedule like to get here for the start?
¿Volaste hoy a la ciudad o cómo estuvo el vuelo que tuviste?
No, ayer yo volé y llegué en la madrugada al hotel y me dormí y descansé para dar la mejor impresión de mí.
Well, I was able to fly in late last night. I got in real late to the hotel, but it did get a good night's sleep, so I was able to rest up and be ready for today.
All right, that was Randy Vasquez post-game with translator Pedro Gutierrez talking about his win, talking about showing up a little bit late. I'll give you quick thoughts, but first we need to quickly pause for station identification. All right, Matt Skraby, we're just finishing up here the Padres post-game show. Padres win 7-3. Randy Vasquez gets the win. And with if you're just tuning in, you haven't heard anything Padres all day, I'll set it up real quick. Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove headed to the IL. They did that earlier today. They called up Randy Vasquez. I don't care who you are, but anyone who travels and gets to their hotel at 2, 3 in the morning, you're going to be tired. So give Randy Vasquez some credit. I think he was in Austin, which isn't too far to Kansas City, but still, I don't care. 2 a.m. is late. These guys stay up late all the time, but still, give him a little bit of credit there. And he's going to have to be pretty good here over the next couple weeks with Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove on the IL. And he's shown this year that he can be pretty good, and he can help the Padres. I had his game log open earlier, and now I can't find it, but I'm going to go back real quick and open it up, because this year there's been a couple games where Randy Vasquez has done he has been able to put the Padres in a spot to get a win. See, Frank, I didn't say great things, which is where I was going. But last start he had on May 20th, he gave up only 3 runs in 6 innings to the Braves. He gave up 5 against the Rockies on Monday, May 13th, but only 1 against the Cubs in 4 1/3. Only 1 in his first start against the Blue Jays. They did lose that game. So he's had a little bit of bad luck, too, with the offense not picking him up. But so far, Randy Vasquez, I will be confident about him starting the next game that he does for the Padres. And good for him. Good for him. All right. We need to get to our last award of the night, and this is it.
What was the crucial play that determined who came out on top? This is today's Play of the Game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
2 balls and a strike to pitch. And Kim hits it in the air to left center field. Blanco back into the gap on the run. Not going to get there. Going to end up around the base of the wall and going to clear the bases. Kim stops at second. All 3 come in to score. A bases clearing double for Ha-Sung Kim. And the Padres are back in front. It's 5-3.
Ha-Sung Kim needed that. He's been struggling this year. He's actually hitting a .222, but he went 2 for 4 today. And that play right there really put the Padres in front for the rest of the day. They were down 3-2, clearing the bases there with that double. 3 RBIs. Padres go up 5-3 in the top of the 4th inning, and they never look back. So Ha-Sung Kim, the play of the game today. All right, we are coming to the end. I'm very sad. This went way too quick. Sam Levitt is going to be back with you tomorrow. Do we have anything else, Frank? No, he's shaking his head no. Do we have any comments? Let me go look real quick. I'll close it out, and then you all can hear from Sammy Lev tomorrow. Moises says, I'm glad the offense actually plays for him. M. McKee says, HSK, crown, and a fire emoji. So that's always good when you have a crown and a fire emoji next to your name. All right, I think that's it. Padres win. Let's do the final totals and let's get out of here. The Padres win 7-3. They are now 3 games over 500, 32-29. They have won the series against the Royals, and they have now won their 8th series in their last 10 series. So that is consistency right there. And they end up going tomorrow. That's what I wanted to do real quick. Michael King is going to be taking on Cole Reagans, and the first pitch tomorrow is going to be 11:10 a.m. Cole Reagans with a 3.49 ERA. He's 4-4 on the season, 1.21 WHIP. Basically, he and Michael King have been really pitching almost the same. Michael King 66 innings this year, Reagans 67. And Reagans struck out 83, while Michael King has struck out 74. Although the home run disparity is big in this one. Michael King giving up 13 home runs this year to Reagans 3. But that game, 11:10 a.m., Michael King takes the ball for the Padres, looking for the first series sweep of the season. So that is what is going to be happening tomorrow. Thanks to everyone who has been listening today to the Padres postgame show. I'm Matt Skraby. Thank you to my guy, Frank Marchese, because really, without Frank, I'm just running in circles and getting nowhere fast. So thank you very much, Frank. Thanks to Adam for the opportunity. Sammy Lev, back with you tomorrow for the final game of the series between the Padres and the Royals. Have a good Saturday night, everyone.